Hi there, how are you all? I hope everyone's doing okay and that you're managing to stay positive and you're managing to stay a little bit active, even if that's within the confines of your own home, and stay sane. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a stronger practice. I put one up yesterday that was very gentle. If your energy is low, if you're not feeling so good, or good for beginners, just nice stretch out. So this one's going to be a little bit stronger, so not a practice for beginners or for people with any health conditions. Make sure you have adequate space around you and make sure you've got a non-slip yoga mat. I do see people with a lot of mats that aren't yoga mats, they seem to be quite slippy, so just make sure you've got a decent surface on which to work. I'm going to start with a little bit of Ujjayi breathing. Ujjayi is constricting the base of the throat. It's kind of uplifting, energizing breath. And it's really good for kind of getting you into a meditative place. So you're focusing not only on your breath, but you can hear the sound of your breath. It's like a whisper. And I heard somebody say a couple of days ago, using your whisper muscles, which I thought was a really good way of describing Ujjayi. So I will do a tutorial on it at some point. So if you don't know Ujjayi, don't worry, just stay with your natural breath. So just softening the shoulders down, sitting in any comfortable position, but finding a long spine, and then just gently closing your eyes. And as always at the start of my practices, take a few moments to just settle into yourself, settle into your breath, into your body. Just gradually and gently start to let go of everything that's going on around us. For the duration of our practice, we draw inwards. So the breath is in and out through the nostrils. If you don't like to close your eyes, you can just have a very soft gaze, gazing down in front of you. Starting to watch the rise and the fall of your chest. Perhaps the rise and the fall of your abdomen. And then if you know Ujjayi, we'll swap it over to an Ujjayi breath. So just gently contracting the muscles at the base of the throat. A little bit like you would if you were going to mist a mirror. So the breath stays in and out through the nose, but now you have a thinner stream of air moving through the throat. You start to create sound. Keeping it as a gentle breath, nothing forced, no strain. If you start to find your mind wandering, just gently guide it back to your breath. It's hard to focus on the breath. Maybe try counting the breaths. You might find that enables you to concentrate a little bit more. So just take another couple of rounds here. your next exhale, just gently take your chin down towards your chest. And have a couple of breaths there. So chin draws in towards the, almost that notch between your collarbones. Just feel a little bit of stretch in the back of the neck. And the next time you inhale, we'll raise the gaze. So we're going to find some cactus arms here. So as you inhale, take your elbows out wide. At the same time, there's a little bit of a tilt forwards of the pelvis and you're lifting up through the heart space. So you can take the gaze gently up. And then as you exhale, round the spine, pelvis will tilt back. Draw your forearms in towards each other. Inhale. Take them out wide. Gaze is up. Exhale, round the spine, forearms together. Couple more. And then inhale, take it out wide and take your hands onto your shoulders. And then we'll just start to circle the elbows a couple of times in both directions. And always moving with the breath. Keeping that awareness on the breath. And then we'll release the hands and clasp them behind us. Roll the shoulders back and down. Have a couple of breaths. You're just lifting up through the heart space. So your shoulder blades draw towards each other. And then as you exhale, just to your own degree, start to fold forwards. And then you may be able to find just a little bit of side-to-side movement through the spine. Maybe not. Just do what works for you. Work within your body's comfortable limits. And as you inhale, come back through to upright. So always remember as we work through our yoga practice, we don't ever want to move into pain. So we're going to come through into child's pose. So take it into a wide knee child at the back edge of your mat. Creep your arms out in front of you, forehead comes down onto the mat. And just take a moment or two there to lengthen back out through your tailbone. Creep your fingers out in front. If you've got open shoulders, you might be able to come up onto tented fingers. You might be able to walk your hands a little bit more towards each other. Again, just find the appropriate place for you. You can stay with that Ujjayi breath. You can move back to your normal breath, or you can move between the two. One more breath here. And then as you inhale, we'll take the hands back to shoulder width apart, come back onto the flat of your palms, and we'll come up onto all fours. So bring the knees back underneath the hips, lifting the chin and the tailbone, dropping the belly as you inhale. And as you exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone, chin to chest. Inhale, draw it forwards, lift the chin and the tailbone. And as you exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. One more. Inhale, lift the chin and the tailbone. Exhale, round the spine. Tuck the tailbone, chin to chest. And then coming back through to a flat back. And then we're going to add on. Just take your hands a little bit further out in front of you. And then from there, bringing the shoulders forwards over the, so they're in front of the wrist. We'll bend the elbows behind us and lower all the way down to the floor. So from there, as you inhale, press into the hands, just very gentle cobra. And then as you exhale, we'll come back down and find our way into child's pose. So we'll move through a few of these. Inhale to come up onto all fours. Exhale to lay the body down. Inhale for your cobra, lifting up through the heart space. Exhale, hips back towards the heels, child. Couple more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale into child. One more time. Just working in your own time with your own breath. Inhale to come up. Exhale now. Inhale through your cobra. And then exhale, child. lengthen back out through your tailbone. And then from there, as you inhale, bring yourself up onto all fours, tuck your toes, and find your way into your first downwards facing dog. And then if you're feeling quite tight, you might just keep both the knees bent. You can just pad the feet. So you have a stretch through the back of one leg at a time. You might choose to give your head a little bit of a shake. Couple of breaths maybe with the legs straight, just gently draw down through your heels. And then as you inhale, ripple your spine forwards through to plank. Press the ground away from you. And we'll have a few breaths here. So to lighten this, you just drop your knees down onto the mat. There's almost a sense now that your shoulder blades draw away from each other as you press the ground away. We'll just take one more breath. And then as you exhale, drop your knees down onto the mat again. Roll forwards. Elbows bend behind you as you lower all the way to the floor. So we're going to extend the right arm out alongside us. Bring your left hand underneath your shoulder, and as you inhale, roll over onto your right hip. We're going to bend the left knee and drop the foot down behind as if we can. If that's too strong, you just bring the foot in front instead. You can keep the left hand where it is, or take that behind you as well. So just start to open through the front of the right shoulder. Fix your gaze on one spot. That way you're not going to get distracted. Try and stay with the breath. And then we'll bring the left hand back down to the mat. Roll back over onto your tummy, other side. Left arm extends, right hand underneath your shoulder. Roll onto your left hip. Right foot behind you, or again you can drop the foot in front if that's easier. You can keep the right hand where it is for support, or you can take the hand behind you. One more breath. And then inhale, bring the right hand right back down, roll back over onto your tummy. And come through into your Sphinx pose. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. A little bit of space between your fingers. Have a couple of breaths. Reach up through the crown of the head. Draw the heart forwards. And lengthen back out through the feet. So the legs are grounded. And there's a sense of length running through your whole body. And then from there, we're going to come out of the back bend, and you want to start to think now about drawing your navel away from your mat. And maybe that's where you stay. Maybe if it feels okay, you can tuck your toes and lift your pelvis away from the mat. And if that's not feeling all right, we'll lift the knees as well. So you don't want a big curve in the lumbar spine. It's almost like you're lengthening your tailbone down between your heels. Couple more breaths. And then we'll bring the knees back down, pelvis back down, come back through into that back bend. Again, find that length in the spine. We're going to do that one more time. You can always lighten it by keeping the knees down. So pressing into the forearms again, start to lift the navel, tucking the toes underneath. If it feels okay, lifting the pelvis. There is the option to lift the knees as well. Rather than looking forwards, keep looking down, so keep the back of the neck long. Again, think about lengthening the tailbone down between the heels. One more breath. Knees come down, pelvis comes down, untuck the toes. Again, just a breath here in that back bend. And then as you exhale, come all the way down, hands underneath your shoulders. We'll tuck the toes, press up to plank, and find our way back into our downwards facing dog. So a couple of breaths here. Option to keep the knees bent if the back of the legs is tight. Just gazing gently at the back edge of your mat, focusing on the breath. And then starting to walk your hands in towards your feet. Stopping at just around about the halfway point. And just have a couple of breaths there.
And then we'll continue in with the hands. And finding just a gentle forward fold. So again, you can keep the knees bent, you can hook onto your opposite elbows, have a couple of breaths. Just letting the crown of the head lengthen down. And then release your arms down and walk your hands gently out to your right. Couple of breaths there. Inhale it back through to centre, hands over to the left. Stay grounded through the feet. Inhale it back through to centre. We're going to put a little bit of a bend in the knees now. If you've got any back issues, hands to the waist and come up the flat back. But otherwise, you can just allow your spine to round up through to standing. Okay, and then we'll step the feet together at the front edge of our mats. Okay, so working into our sun salutes. Inhale. Reach the arms up, bring the hands together, and as you exhale, fold forward. So nice flat back, bend the knees if you need to. Inhale to look up, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step back into plank. So drop the knees down if you wish, roll forwards, lower to Chaturanga or to the floor. Inhale through your upwards facing dog, and as you exhale, hips up and back, downwards facing dog. So just taking a moment to set your pose. Find your drishti, your gazing point, engage with your breath. One more breath. And then looking forward, softening the knees as you inhale, step or jump your feet forward between your hands. Halfway lift there. As you exhale, fold in, head to legs. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands through to the heart. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhale to fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step or jump back. So to plank or to Chaturanga. So lowering down. Inhaling through your back bend. Exhaling, downwards facing dog. So you have to excuse me, I've got either blocked sinuses or a blocked nose. I'm having trouble breathing and downwards facing. So there's a little bit of mouth breathing going on here. Don't do that unless you've got the same issue. Breath in and out through the nose. One more breath. And then we'll soften the knees, step, jump, float the feet forward as you inhale. Halfway lift there, exhale, fold in. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands through to the heart centre. So one more like that. Inhaling. Exhale to fold. Inhale to look up. Exhale, hands down, step or jump back. So lowering down. Inhaling through your back bend. Exhaling. Downwards facing dog. So just a moment to just find your way fully into the pose. And then we'll inhale, spine forwards to plank, right hand to the centre of your mat, rolling onto the little toe side of your right foot, left arm up towards the ceiling. So you can always drop your right knee down onto the mat to lighten this. Press up through the hips and then draw your left arm forwards over your ear. You can look forwards, you can look up if you have your balance. One more breath. Left arm back up towards the ceiling. Bring the hand back down, you come back into plank. We'll work with the other side. You can have your right foot stepped on top of your left, stacked on top of your left, or you can have your right foot in front of your left if you have more of a balance issue. Right arm reaches forwards over the ear as you lift up through the hips, lengthen through the side body. And then take the right arm back up towards the ceiling, come back through to your plank, hips up and back, downwards facing dog. Take one more breath. Then soften the knees, step, jump, float your feet forward as you inhale, halfway lift there. As you exhale, fold in. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands through to the heart centre. Okay, so I move through a couple of sun salutes slightly different. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, fold forwards. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, right foot steps back, right knee comes down onto the mat. So inhale the arms up for Chandrasana. As you exhale, release the hands down, we'll step it back through to plank, Chaturanga, upwards facing dog, downwards facing dog. Just a breath here. And then as you inhale, we'll step the right foot forward between the hands, drop down onto your left knee. Inhale the arms up. As you exhale, release the hands down, tuck your left toe, step your left foot forward to join your right. Halfway lift there. Exhale to fold in. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands through to the heart. And again, inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, left foot steps back, left knee down onto your mat. Inhale, your arms up. As you exhale, release the hands down, tuck the left toe, step back to plank, Chaturanga or the floor, upwards facing dog or cobra, downwards facing dog. Again, just taking a breath. And then inhale, left foot steps forward between your hands. Drop down onto your right knee. Inhale the arms up, Anjaneyasana. As you exhale, release the hands down. Tuck your right toe, step your right foot forward to join your left. Halfway lift there. As you exhale, fold in. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands through to the heart centre. Okay, we're just going to take a Vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale, folding. Inhale to look up. Exhale, hands down, step or jump back. Lowering down. Inhale through your back bend. Exhale, downwards facing dog. So from there, as you inhale, take your right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend your right knee and stack your right hip on top of your left. You might just find a little bit of movement through that right ankle. Circling it both directions. And we're going to square off the right hip. Bring your knee through, try and touch your nose. Inhale the right leg out behind you. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, extend the leg up behind you. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale to extend the right leg up behind you. And then nice and gently bring the knee in towards your chest. Press the ground away from you. And step your foot through between your hands. We're going to ground the left foot, but draw the foot in towards you a little bit more. We're going to come up with a shorter stance and find our way into Trikonasana. So you can have the right arm against the right hand against the shin, the thigh. If you can reach to hold the big toe, then you can do. If it doesn't feel good to look up, you can just look forwards or down. Lengthen your right hip towards the back edge of your mat. And then as you exhale, bring your left hand down to your waist. Bend your right knee, and step the left foot forwards a bit. Take your right hand down in front of your right foot and a little to the right, and float your left leg up for Ardha Chandrasana, your half moon. Left arm up towards the ceiling. You can take a variation of this if it feels appropriate. You can take your left foot into your left hand and just gently start to kick that left foot away from you. Open through the chest. Let's take one more breath. And then extend the left leg back out. We're going to bend the right knee and step back, Virabhadrasana 2. So adjust your feet if you need to. Tracking the right knee out over your toes, soften through the shoulders. Strongly grounded through the feet. If your arms get tired, you can always drop them down. Or you can turn the palms to face upwards, put a little bit of a bend in the elbows. That can be a little bit more restful. And then we're going to take the right forearm to the thigh and extend the left arm out over the ear. So if you know that you can take the right hand to the floor, you can work there instead. But you want to spin the chest open, not have it collapsing down towards the floor. Lengthen out through the left fingers. Take one more breath. And then from there, as you inhale, come back up through your Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten your right leg. Turn your feet parallel, lower the hands to the waist. So we're just going to turn the toes out and have the heels in. Come through, hands through to the heart centre. We'll start to bend the knees. You don't want the knees falling in, so you're just gently pressing them out to the sides, keeping the shoulders nice and soft. Couple of breaths. Almost a sense maybe you're breathing into your hands. And then you can stay with this, or you can fold forwards, flat back, hands to the floor. Keep the shoulders rolling away from the ears. Maybe you can come up onto the balls of the feet. Maybe you can extend your arms out. So think strong legs, keep the breath flowing. One more breath. And then bring your hands back down to the floor, bring your heels back down. Find that flat back, hands back to the heart centre, inhale to come back through to upright, and then as you exhale, we'll straighten the legs. Paralleling the feet, inhale your arms up behind you, out to the side, then exhale your hands behind you. Roll the shoulders back and down, lift up through the heart, and then as you exhale, folding forwards here. Few breaths, Prasarita Padottanasana. Let's just take one more breath. See if you can find a little bit more space in your shoulders. And then soften your knees as you inhale, come all the way back through to upright. Release your hands, pivot to face the front edge of your mat. And then sweep your right foot back behind you, one-legged plank. Now you could just go straight to your down dog, or you could work through a one-legged vinyasa. And we'll all meet in downwards facing dog. So connecting to your breath, as you inhale, float your left leg up behind you, bend your left knee, stack your left hip on top of your right. Again, you can find some movement through your left foot. We'll just circle both directions. And then square off your hips, and as you exhale, bring your left knee through, try and touch your nose. Inhale the left leg back out behind you, exhale knee to left elbow. Inhale the leg back out behind you, exhale knee to right elbow. Inhale, extend the left leg back out behind you. And then as you exhale, bring the knee in, come through to a high plank, press the ground away from you. And then step your left foot through between your hands. So you're going to draw the right foot forwards a little bit, then ground the heel, and inhale to come through to upright. So it's like a small warrior two, which we will then take into our Trikonasana. So rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Again, you don't have to take hold of the foot. You could have the left hand against your leg. You can always keep the left knee a little bit bent as well if you need to. We'll take one more breath. And then we'll bring the right hand down to the waist, soften the left knee, so just step the right foot forwards, left hand down in front of your left foot, a little to the left, the right leg floats up behind you. The right arm reaches up towards the ceiling, Ardha Chandrasana, your half moon. And again, if it feels okay, you want to take a hold of the right foot with the right hand. Then you can start to kick the right foot gently away from you. Keep space around the shoulders, the neck. One more breath. And then we'll extend the right leg back out, soften your left knee, and step it back, Virabhadrasana 2. So you might not land in the right place. Adjust yourself as you need to. Extend the arms. So you're fully grounded through your feet. Couple more breaths. As you ground through the legs, there's a lengthening up through the spine. And then you can either take your left forearm to your thigh, reach the right arm out over your ear, or if you want to take it a little bit deeper, left hand to the floor. You can always use a brick or a block if you have one, or a book. Spinning open through the right shoulder. Again, we don't want the chest to collapse down, we're trying to open up. We'll take one more breath. And then inhale, come back up through your Virabhadrasana 2. Straighten your left leg and parallel the feet. So this time I'll turn to face you. Folding forwards from here. Long spine as you inhale, softening the knees as you come forwards. And then hands to the floor or to your shins if you can't quite reach. Halfway lift there, and as you exhale, folding. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Tip a little bit of weight through into the front of the feet. Keep the spine nice and long. And if your head is coming to the floor, maybe draw your feet towards each other a little bit more. And then you've got some space to move into. So each inhale, you lengthen your spine. It's your exhales that take you forwards if there is space to move into. We'll take one more breath. And then as you inhale, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the waist, soften the knees. Inhale to come all the way through to upright. And then from there, you're going to turn to face the front edge of your mat. Pivot onto the ball of your right foot, sweep your left foot back behind you. So you've got that one-legged plank. Again, you can go straight to down dog, or you can work through a one-legged vinyasa. And we'll all meet downwards facing dog. Couple of breaths here. Just connecting back to your breath if you've lost it. Keep the spine nice and long. And then inhale, float your right leg up behind you, and as you exhale, draw the knee in towards the chest. Again, press the ground away, make this really strong, really active. And then gently step your right foot through between your hands. Ground your left foot. Inhale your arms up, Virabhadrasana 2. And we'll move into a twist from there. Left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Roll the shoulders away from your ears, extend out through the crown of the head. If you're comfortable to, stay with the left foot grounded, but if that doesn't feel good, you can come onto the ball of the left foot, or you could even drop the left knee down onto your mat. So just find the version of the pose that suits you. Couple of breaths here, find a nice twist for the spine. And then inhale, come back up through your Virabhadrasana 2, reverse warrior. Left hand to left thigh, right arm reaches up. You can look up at your right hand, look down at your left foot. And then we'll straighten the right leg, so reverse Trikonasana. Really keep reaching up through the crown of the head. You don't want to feel that you're compressing in the lower back. And then come back through Virabhadrasana 2. And again, you can sweep it back to your one-legged plank. Whether you take a vinyasa or go straight to down dog is your choice. So perhaps you're coming back to that Ujjayi breath. As you inhale, float your left leg up behind you. As you exhale, bring the knee through, draw it in towards the chest, press the ground away. Keep breathing. Step the left foot through between your hands. Ground your right foot. Inhale your arms up, Virabhadrasana 2. Grounded into the feet. And then keeping the spine nice and long, bringing your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. So again, finding that twist. Rather than sticking the hips out to the left, it's almost you're gently drawing the left hip underneath you. And again, you can always come onto the ball of the right foot or drop down onto the right knee. Strong legs. Let's take one more breath. And then inhale, come back up through Virabhadrasana 2. Right hand to right thigh, we'll flip the left palm, find reverse warrior. And then straighten the left knee, reverse Trikonasana. Always working within your body's comfortable limits. Bend the left knee, come back through Virabhadrasana 2. We'll pivot on the right foot, hands down either side of the left, keep the left foot back, one-legged plank. Your choice of straighter down dog or moving through a Vinyasa. Taking one more breath here. And then softening your knees, looking forwards, step, jump, float your feet forward between your hands. Find your halfway lift. As you exhale, fold in, head to legs. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands through to the heart centre. Okay, so we're going to come into a balance before we come down onto our mats. So easiest option is tree, and if you just wanted to keep the ball of the foot on the floor, then for a little bit of added balance you could do. You could bring the foot to the shin, or you could bring the foot up to the thigh. If that's feeling good, and you know you're comfortable, you could bring your right foot up into a half lotus. The right knee just gently drops down, and you can work there, just taking your right hand into the crook of your left elbow, or if you combined in this pose, we'll take a hold of the big toe with the right hand, and as you exhale, we'll fold forwards. So if you're in tree, you're going to stay upright. If you're in the half bind, then we're folding forwards. Couple of breaths more. Keeping the focus on the breath. Sense of strong body. One more breath. And then if you folded forwards, we'll soften the left knee. Inhale, come back through to upright. Whoa. And then as you exhale, release it down. Balance is never my strong point. So other side. Again, either tree, you've got the weight onto the right leg, you're going to lift up the left leg. Just don't press the left foot into the knee, and if you're wobbly, arms out to the side is a good thing to do. Or if you've got some wall there and you just want to practice against the wall, then you can do. If you're happy with the half lotus, we'll bring the left foot right up into the right hip crease. You can take a bind if that's available to you, and then as you exhale, you fold forwards. Nice long spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, folding. Look for space in the chest. Keeping the breath flowing, 2 more. And then as you inhale, halfway lift, soften the right knee, coming back through to upright. And as you exhale, releasing that left foot down. Sorry, and I've lost my microphone. There we go. So feet just slightly apart at the front edge of your mat, and we'll Vinyasa. Inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step or jump back. So lowering down. Inhale through your back bend. And exhale, hips up and back. Downwards facing dog. So inhale, the right leg floats up behind us. As you exhale, round your spine, knee to nose. Inhale, extend the right leg out behind you. Exhale, knee to right tricep. Inhale, extend the right leg out behind you. Exhale, knee to left tricep. And then extend your left leg.
Right leg.
Drop onto the big toe side of your left foot. And extend your arms. Fallen triangle. Again, if it's not looking good to feel, if it's not feeling good to look up, you can look forwards or down. One more breath. We'll bring that left leg down, float the right leg back up behind you, and then as you exhale, we're going to come into pigeon. So bring your right leg forwards, don't press it down straight away on your mat. Again, press the ground away from you, hover the right leg. And then exhale gently, right knee behind your right wrist, left leg extends out behind you. Take a breath or two upright here, maybe pressing into the fingertips, reach up through the crown of the head, forwards through the heart. You're not rolling over onto your right hip. So do use blocks here if you need them, cushions, blankets. And then as you exhale, gently folding forwards. Couple more breaths. Try and keep the spine long, the chest open. And then as you inhale, come back up onto your hands. And just a moment or two there. And then we'll tuck the left toes and sweep the right leg back behind us. You can take a vinyasa and you can move straight to your downwards facing dog. Yogi's choice. And then as you inhale, the left leg floats up behind you. As you exhale, round your spine, reach nose. Inhale, extend your left leg. Exhale, knee to left tricep. Extending the leg again on your next exhale, knee to right tricep, and then extend your left leg out, drop onto the big toe side of your right foot, or you can keep the right foot grounded, whatever feels best. Fallen triangles to your right. Gaze is wherever feels most comfortable for your neck. Feel like you're radiating energy out in each direction. And then as you exhale, bring the right hand back down, sweep the left leg back behind you. Coming through into pigeon. So the left knee comes forwards. And again, just hovering for a moment or two before you place the left shin down. Find space between your shoulder blades. And then as you exhale, knee behind your left wrist, right leg extends out behind you. Couple of breaths here. Find an upright position, find a long spine. And as long as it feels okay to do so, as you exhale, folding forwards. Stay connected to your breath. If you find your mind wandering off, just keep coming back to the breath. And then as you inhale, come back up onto your hands again. Just take a moment there. Lengthen back out through that right leg. As much length in your body as you can. And then the hands come down, we'll tuck the right toes, we'll sweep that left leg back behind us. And again, your choice, Vinyasa or straight to downwards facing. Okay, just coming into a downwards facing dog. And then from there, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Have a couple of breaths. Maybe a little bit of movement backwards and forwards. Keep opening the chest. We're going to swap it over. You could step your right foot back or your left foot forwards, or you could just hop switch it. And then from there, we're going to step the right foot back to the outside of the right hand and come through into Malasana, our squat. So instead of bringing the palms of the hands together, bring the backs of your hands together. Keep the heels of the hands together and just draw the wrist down as much as you can. So find a little bit of space in the back of your wrists. Might release it out, give the wrist a little bit of a shake, come back through to prayer, and from here we'll find a twist. So taking your left hand down to the inside of your left leg and extending your right arm up towards the ceiling. If you know this pose and you want to bind, you can internally rotate your left shoulder, wrap your left arm around your shin, take your right hand behind you and find the bind. So left hand holds onto the right wrist. You can look up, but equally you can just look forwards or down. Don't ever strain your neck. And then we'll release it, come back through to centre, the other side, so the right arm down to the inside of the right leg and the left arm lifts, or again, you can roll that right shoulder inwards and take hold of your left wrist behind you. Take one more breath. And then bringing it back through to centre. And then from here, we're going to take the hands back to the floor. You can step back to down dog, or you can again move through a vinyasa. All vinyasa is optional. Okay, we're going to come back into a squat at the front edge of our mats, but this time feet together. So soften your knees, look forward, step or jump your feet forward, knees together. So we come through into Shavasana. So if you're wobbly here, you can always pop a block or a brick or a book underneath your feet. So I'm just going to whiz around and work this way so that you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to take this into a twist. It might be that you take your left elbow to the outside of the right thigh and that you work there. If you know side crow, you can always move through into your arm balance. So the hands come down onto your mats, and then you're going to lift up the right hip onto the upper right arm, tip the weight forwards, and you can just stay there with the legs bent, or you can extend the legs for Ekapada Kundinasana. Take one more breath. We'll bring the legs back in, come back through to side crow, back into Pashasana. And then we'll do the other side. So come back through, nice long spine. You might just take the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh and work there. Or you can drop your hands to the floor. Lift your left hip onto your upper left arm. Tip the weight forwards so you've got your side crow. And again, you can work at straightening the legs for Ekapada if you wish. Bring the legs back in if you straighten them. Back through side crow. Back through to Pashasana. And then from there, extend your arms out in front of you. And nice and gently lower yourself back down onto your mat. So we'll keep the arms extended, keep the feet grounded, and nice and slowly let yourself all the way down onto your mat. So a couple of back bends here, keeping the knees bent and the feet hip width. Hands alongside you. As you inhale, we'll start to lift up the hips and the chest. If it's all feeling good, hands clasp underneath you. Maybe you can just wiggle your shoulders underneath you a bit. Keep pressing down the big toe sides of the feet. Coming through into your bridge. Sense that the thighs roll in towards each other. Let's take one more breath. And then release your arms, and with control, the spine comes back down onto your mat. So just take a breath. We're going to go one more time. You're welcome to work with your bridge again, or if you wanted to, if you know wheel, if you're comfortable in your Untitled, then you can take it through into your wheel pose. So 5 breaths. Inhaling to come up. Keep lifting up through the hips, up through the sternum. One more breath. And then if you're in wheel, chin to chest, nice and gently again with control, the spine comes back down onto your mat. And then bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop open. Come back to your breath, full awareness of the breath. Whether it's Ujjayi or whether it's your natural breath. And then take your hands behind your thighs, draw your knees in towards each other and bring them in towards your chest. Little rock from side to side. And then keeping the knees in towards the chest, dropping them over to your right hand side and extending your left arm out. As you next inhale, bring your head back through to centre, and then your legs back through to centre. And as you exhale, take the knees to the left and turn to gaze out over the right shoulder. One last breath here on this side. And then inhale, bring it back through to centre. Just lengthen out the spine. And then as you exhale, straighten out your legs for your Shavasana. So if you need a blanket or a cushion, something underneath your knees, grab anything you need. Make yourself warm, make yourself comfortable. And just settle yourself down into your relaxation. Slow down the rate of your breath. Release the Ujjayi breathing, just coming back to a natural breath. Still in and out through the nose if you can. Letting your shoulders drop. All the muscles of your face relax. Giving yourself this time to integrate, to refresh, to renew. Staying here for as long as you like, a minimum